Hey, how's it going, my friends? So this is a long one, so let's just go at it and then we'll continue. Shazam is a 2019 film, DC superhero film. The film is directed by David Sandberg and is based on the DC and Fawcett comic character Shazam, originally known as Captain Marvel, created by C.C. Beck and Bill Parker for Fawcett Comics. Also, it's very interesting since both Beck and Parker enjoy a more cartoony style of characters like Mr. Mind, which is a caterpillar, and Tawny the tiger. Billy transforms into Shazam by speaking the wizard's name. He has the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, and the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury. And so, right. So, guys, I'm just gonna do that brief plot summary and take it from there. So Billy Batson is an orphan in search of his lost mother. Billy's played by Asher Angel. He runs away from multiple foster homes and shows that his goal in life is to find his mother. He tends to be distrustful of others and thinks he doesn't need them. Billy says to Emily, his sister, "Don't be worried about everybody else. Always take care of number one. You do you." After his latest running, Billy is caught and he has to live with two Mexican foster care leaders or people. His dad is called Victor Vasquez, while his mom is called Rosa Vasquez. Cooper and Martha, that's her name, play them respectively. Meanwhile, his brother Freddie is played by Jack Glazer. His sister is called Daria, played by Faith, while his other sister is called Mary, played by Grace. Meanwhile, his other brother is called Pedro, played by Jovan, and his other one is Eugene, played by Ian Shannon. And I know there's so many names and cast members of his family, but don't worry, guys. Don't overthink it too much. And the wizard is played by Dijon Honsu, is Shazam. So Billy and Freddy test out Billy's powers and discover his super strength, super speed, and flying abilities. It's all going well until Sabina gets superpowers from the Seven Sins. Sabina is the bad guy. The Sins give him powers. With his power, he overcomes Billy, more or less defeats him. However, Billy escapes and finds his mom. Billy doesn't want to see him. Billy's mom doesn't want to see him. So Billy realizes that his true family is the Vasquez family. So Billy tries to hack his mom, but then his mom just pushes him away. Therefore, Billy becomes Shazam, and he gives his family superpowers through the wizard staff. His family can defeat Sivana, since Envy betrays Sivana and makes him use his power. Since when all the sins leave Sivana's body, he loses his power. So what happens, guys, is Sivana becomes a champion of the sins, which means that they grant him all his powers. So he takes this eye and he puts it on this magical eye. He puts him on his right or left eye, and then it grants him power. However, if all the sins are battling against Billy and his siblings, Sivana will lose all the power. So Billy takes advantage of that. He goats one of the Envy to come out of the eye and fight him. So then once Envy does, Sivana loses his power, and then Billy just catches him and gets him arrested. But anyway, the theme of the film is family. It's convincing and stands out. Guys, this is a very interesting film, so I just wrote a lot about it. So I'm just gonna have to read it and I'll try to explain later. So the film has a running theme of family repeated. On one hand, we have Billy, who has lost his mother. On the other hand, we have Dr. Sivana, who feels unloved by his family. For instance, he reprimands his dad, as he says, Billy adopted family treats him well and they're very welcoming, although they're also very awkward. For instance, Freddy says, "Maybe it's my fault, maybe I snore." So Billy escapes. He hasn't escaped, but he's gone because the wizard gave him powers. So while he's gone, Freddy says, "Oh, maybe he escaped and it's my fault," but not really. But he's just an awkward guy. Another very awkward one is Darla. Darla is the funniest one, man, and she's also really awkward. She said, "Is that him? Oh my gosh, Billy," and then runs to hug Billy. It is a bit awkward since Billy and her just met for the first time. However, she's overly eager to hug Billy. She says that tofurkey, which means turkey made of tofu. So he has a really nice family. Like even his brother Eugene, who's just a massive gamer, it's a very realistic portrayal of the character. Pedro as well, he's funny, and then he's a sensitive guy, and then the other character, his mom is very supportive. Alright, let's continue. The plot is straightforward and interesting. Billy has been chosen as a champion of the wizard. Meanwhile, Dr. Sivana has been chosen as a champion from the Seven Sins. To be a champion means that you're given superpowers by either a wizard or the Seven Sins. The film does a great job of building up its hero and its antagonist. Sivana believes this is a quote, nobody's worthy to be the champion, thereby implying that morally good people don't exist. Meanwhile, Billy also says nobody's worthy. However, the main difference between them is that Sivana feels angry at him for not being worthy. This anger carries him through the whole film and motivates his obsessive action towards finding the wizard again. Sivana holds a grudge against the wizard, his dad, and towards the world. Meanwhile, Billy is not angry and not being worthy. He seems to have accepted that he's not worthy and moved on. Billy, like Sivana, also has a singular goal to find his mother. Billy's goal is to reconnect with his mother and to have a family. A nobler goal than Sivana, who wants to take revenge on the world for not believing him. Sivana says, do you know what it's like to be a child, to be told you'll never be good enough? So this is not only the wizard tells him that what happens when Sivana is a kid, he's in a car and his dad yells at him, and then he goes to this other realm where he finds the wizard Shazam. Shazam says, I'll give you powers if you're pure of heart. But then he says he gets seduced by the Seven Sins who offer him power and tell them like, oh, you show your dad, you'll show others how good you are. So he almost takes the eye, and the wizard gets mad and says like, you'll never be a champion. And he gets really angry, Sivana, and that's why he becomes like a evil guy. Billy's family is supportive. So Billy's family delivers. The best two characters are Darla and Freddy, played by Faith Hartman and Jack Grazer. It was Grazer, not Glazer, like I said before. So Darla is very funny and has a lot of great one-liners as well as emotional weight. For instance, when Billy says, is she good at keeping secrets? Darla answers, moderate. She also says other great one-liners. What if it's people we trust? To hint that she wanted to tell their parents that Billy is Shazam. She has a great screen presence. The other character is Freddy. He's nerdy but likable. He's very excited. US Soups guy. When he talks, very excited about Superman and Batman. So both Darla and Freddy are excellent guys. The actors that play them, Faith and Jack, they definitely deliver. And when it comes to Freddy, he has great comedic timing. For instance, when he tries to make fun of Billy, you work, you're invisible. And when he says, I might have tested invisibility and super intelligence at the same time. So he tricks Shazam into thinking he's invisible, and then some kids punk him or make fun of him. And then Freddy says, oh, I was just testing you to see if you were like a super genius, and he wasn't. He's currently making fun of Billy, and it's lighthearted, in a lighthearted way. Freddy has good chemistry with both Billy and Shazam. They do seem like brothers. So this is something that, and I think other critics has mentioned, that relationship between Freddy and Shazam, it's excellent. The relationship between Freddy and Billy, it's also excellent. Like, it really stands out, and it's very compelling to see them do stuff together. For instance, when they sneak into their school and just try to get rid of the homework, it's just very compelling. Or when they make fun of the security guard and call him a moron because his last name is Moran, and it's just very interesting relationship, and they do carry the film around. They do carry the film. So tone of the film is lighthearted but realistic. It feels like a breath of fresh air. Honestly, like when Billy is at home and with his siblings, they have a very nice house with green walls. And this is something, guys, that I've been very interested in architecture, in interior design, particularly British styles, the whole rugs, and also the walls. Like, I like to explore more this concept. The Christmas trees, the rugs, the chandeliers, is a French word. I also enjoy that even if Billy is fighting a supervillain like Sivana, he does it at the mall. The films give me a Home Alone vibe since all the characters are in this cozy house. And the film is actually set in Philadelphia, which was mostly German, but the and it's interesting because the guy who plays Freddy, I think he has Austrian ancestry, but I feel the house give me like a British vibe, and like because I'm really obsessed with the whole British interior design, so I like to know more. And I know there was like a colonial art or like art style, but I don't think this is it. But I feel like just give me that cozy vibe because it gives me like a Home Alone kind of vibe, and I like to explore more interior design, but I don't want to like get sidetracked with that. But definitely very nice house, very nice place. And then they shot the film at Toronto and in Canada, so that's why it's all very snowy. And but at the same time, so Billy and Shazam and Dr. Sivana getting the fight with the mole, and I really liked it. And there's like a lot of Canadian films, like or Canadian with Canadian actors like Ryan Reynolds. There was one of the film when he does like a Christmas special, like a Christmas film. It reminded me of that, but I'll talk about it in a future video. But anyway, at the same time, the film also has a realistic bent to it. For instance, Billy's mom rejects him. Billy tries to hug him while she turns him down. She says, "I was hurting, I was screwed up, I saw you with the police, and I realized they could do a better job at taking care of you than I ever will." And I like this realism, and we see this realism with Tadeo Sivana's father. So his father, that Dr. Sivana's father, he's always like reprimanding him. He says, "Tad, I said no toys at grandfather's." And so I like that this film is lighthearted, but it also brings you a realistic side. Like Billy's mom seems like she said she's kicked out of her home. Like she seems sort of, I don't want to see trailer sort of like, I don't want to say that word, but like she seems sort of like working class, you know, like she seems like she really struggles and stuff, and she felt that Billy could do better with other people, you know, that could take care of him. And that I like how Billy overcomes it. Like he's not scarred. Like, and some people have been saying that it seems Marvel heroes, they're really focused on flaws, and I feel with Spider-Man, like it just seems like Uncle Ben, it really devastates him. While here Billy just moves on. My criticism: Billy acts too adult, while Shazam's act too much as a child. For instance, Billy acts distant and aloof, like when he answers to Freddy and he's chosen to fly, so he could fly away from this conversation. Meanwhile, when he's with Shazam, he said literally, he also said that's a cream cheese name, dude. When he's talking about his name, Mr. Philadelphia. And I see this sort of, I don't know if it's an incongruence or not, but I see what they were trying to get at, director Sandberg. But I feel sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That it feels Billy, it's a very cynical, distant type of teenager. While Shazam is a very effusive, excited adult. So it's this contrast. And there were some people on YouTube that were saying that maybe like Shazam is how Billy was. It's Billy being a kid. Honestly, I can buy it. I don't think that's like bad or anything, but I think at times Zachary Levi, he plays it too much. You know, like he does it a bit too much, too effusive, while Billy does it, Asher does it too cynical. So sometimes it might be a bit incongruent, but not always. So the sentences were too uniform in their design. They all look great and had no distinguishing features between them. I feel I would have been interested if they had made it more distinct. So guys, let's just jump to a conclusion because we're running out of time. Great film, instant classic, family friendly. Like the ending with the return of Mr. Mime, Otto Binder. writes very wacky characters, and it's in contrast. See you guys. Like, comment, subscribe.